Hello guys, I saw this flyer online and I decided to remake it. So you can see the Photoshop toolbox on one side, and on the other side you can see the Instagram page on this side. And I will be remaking this design. I'll be breaking it down for you, so just follow me. So I went ahead and traced it. I like tracing with my pen tool, so I traced along the edges. While I'm tracing it, if you've not followed my page, if you've not subscribed, please subscribe. I have promised to give you amazing content that will keep you going, and definitely I'm doing that. So after tracing it, I locked the tracing, then right click, go to mix selection, change it my feather to 0.5 and click OK. Then I went ahead to mask it, removing the area I don't want. Then I click on the main image, hit Ctrl Shift A to pull up the camera raw. So when the camera raw comes up, I already have presets, so I go and load my presets. I want to add little color to the image, so I choose my presets. The preset is applied, but I think the color is too much, so I go ahead and mix it a little bit. So make it a little bit desaturated, then go to the hue and change it to somehow yellow, not reddish. Make it yellowish, then go to the luminance and reduce it a little bit, then go back to the saturation and increase the saturation, then click on. When I'm done, I'll go ahead and work on the green of the clothes just to make sure the green pops. Change the hue of the green. Instead of making it a forest green, I make it a somehow shadowed green. Then reduce the luminance of the green, and when I'm done I hit OK and it applies in my image. Then I right click on the layer of the image just to turn it into a smart object so that it doesn't lose its resolution when I'm working on another Photoshop file. So I move over to the Photoshop file that I want. I drag in my background. I already have the background, so what I did was duplicate the background, then go to blur, and instead of blur, add noise. I go and add the noise, then reduce the opacity of the background to suit what we have here, so that the background will have a little noise in it. Then I click Windows Shift S to bring out the Windows sniper, and I snip out the Photoshop toolbox, and I hit Ctrl V on the keyboard to paste it. Then when I have pasted it, I transform it a little bit so that it could be bigger. Let's make a little selection around the object so that we can remove the edges, so that when you put it in the particular blend mode you want, it won't have rough edges. So when you're done selecting, you mask it. You click on mask and mask out the places you want, and then you go to pin light so that we could achieve that thing we saw on the flyer. Go to pin light, and then you see that everything is going according to plan. Then you drag it and place it one side. Then same thing, I just reduce the opacity of the background so it doesn't look harsh on whatever we are doing. So this is how the Photoshop toolbox should look like. Then I also go and hit Windows Shift S to bring out the Windows snip tool, and I snipe out this other panel down here and hit Ctrl V on the keyboard to import it into the Photoshop, then transform it into what I want it to be. Then I also go and hit pin light in the blend mode, and this is what I have. So I'll go ahead and drag in my Instagram screenshot. I made a screenshot of my Instagram in dark mode so that all the white text could come to life, and then I select screen in my blend mode to remove the dark part of the Instagram page, and then place it on the particular place I want it to be. So one of the good practices as a graphic designer is to always rename your subjects. So let's go back to the original image and see what it looks like. So this is what we're trying to recreate. This is what the fly I'm breaking down. So go back to Photoshop. So I place the image below the Photoshop toolbox, and I told you earlier, always rename your assets, your layers, so that it will be easy for you to identify. So I just renamed that, and I renamed this other one here, and then I renamed the Photoshop toolbox. Then I also have the panel that consists of the effects and the masking and everything. I just rename it to panel. Then go ahead and group the two background, rename it to BG, and then let's continue with what we're doing. So I adjust it, and I think it's looking nice already. Then I go to the image and add a mask, then select my brush tool, reduce the opacity of the brush tool, and brush around the edges. But it's not working, so we have to let's use the gradient tool. The gradient will make it a little bit more better. So once we've gotten that faded part, then we use the brush to work on the rough edges, just to make it look like what we have in our original picture. So brush it all around the edges, we increase the picture a little bit, then brush this part of the fly of the picture just to make it come out the more. Then this is what we are looking at. So go straight to the point and drag it down. I believe this location is okay. So we align the panel to the center and drag it up a little bit so that it looks like what the image we are trying to make. We reduce this and drag it in a little bit so it looks like the image we are trying to replicate. Your text tool and change the font name to Myrad Pro, and when the font is a Myrad Pro, reduce it to about 6 points. Maybe 6 points will do the work, or maybe 5 points or something. 5 5 points. Okay, that should do the work done. So you change the color to white. That should be our background color. Change the color to white, then type in your menu. That's your file, then edit, image, layer, type, select filter, and all those things there in the menu. All you need to do is to type them in one by one. So when we are done with that, we adjust it to the center according to the image. We reduce the size first, then align it to the center of the background. So we select the image, reduce it a little bit so it doesn't look have more presence than every other thing in the image. Then align the menu to your center. So the next thing we're going to do is to add the text, the number of followers I have, which is 1.9k. You people should follow me on Instagram so that I'll have more followers, please. I already have 1.9k, so I type in 1.9k, then I choose the font, Go Bold. Go Bold is the font we are going to use. We use Go Bold regular. So in case you do not have Go Bold, you can search for it. It's a free font. You can search for it on Google and get your own Go Bold font. So change this K to capital letter K. So we're going to go ahead and increase the font, the text, and then reduce the character spacing. Highlight everything, reduce the character spacing to about 100 or 70. Okay, 100 is too much, so I think we should reduce that to 75. Then increase the font a little bit more so it has presence. So now we're going to add gradient to the font. You double click on that layer and it brings out the blend mode, the layer style. Then you can click on gradient. I already have Photoshop has given us some preset gradients. I go to oranges and choose the particular gradient I want, and not this one, yes. So I click OK and click OK, and this is what I have, but I need to adjust it a little bit, let it be angled instead of linear. So I reduce the gradient a little bit and angle it down, let the hot part go into the warm from one angle. So I scale it up a little bit, and this is what we have. So I will go ahead and add a layer mask because I need to fade it down. So go ahead and add a layer mask. After adding a layer mask, you use your gradients to fade the lower part of the text layer to make it look like the image we have already. So when you're done with that, adjust it a little bit. So go back, create another text, call it followers. So we're going to select this font, Britannica. You can search for Britannica. Britannica is also it's not a free font, but on some websites you might get it free. So Britannica, you type in followers, and then let's say centralize it, then let's change this F to a small letter F so it has a flow. Then increase the character spacing and then drag it to the center, make sure it aligns with your 1.9K. Then duplicate the layer and take it up, change this layer to thank you, capital letter thank you. Please do not forget to subscribe to my channel. Remember, I'm giving you premium content and I promise to give you more premium content. So you change this thank you to Britannica regular, and this is what it looks like. So we'll highlight this. Okay, let's transform it down a little bit, then highlight this and increase the character spacing. Once you're done with that, align it to the 1.9K. Align it to the 1.9K, and this is what we have here. So we go ahead and move it up a little bit. So but we are not done yet. So what we're going to do is, I have beauty retouch, which is a panel, not actually free panel. Beauty retouch is a panel for photo editing, but I like to use some of the effects on this panel. So I go to looks, go to matte, add the matte, and there's a feel it gives my design, but I'll have to turn it down a little bit, maybe 50%. Then I will add the purple look. I want to increase the noise in the background so it doesn't get eaten by the matte look. So I'll add the purple look too. This is what we have, but I'll turn it down a little bit. Let's say 50% too. Then this is what we have so far. So this is according to the image we saw earlier. This is what I could break it down into, so you can look at this, learn this, and design. Make sure you try this particular thing out. Make sure you try this design out, and I'm sure definitely you'll come back with testimonies on my page. So if you are a new member here, please don't forget to subscribe. I'm giving you premium content, and I will not stop giving you premium content for free. My courses are out there. You can buy the Photoshop full course, or you can buy the video editing full course, any of the courses you want. This is Learn with Peniel. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you.